Hi vibes.
Hi vibes.
Welcome back to another. Wait for
That happened
that.
last time too.
Welcome back to another Astro Solsin rewind on Vibration.
Yep.
And in this video, we'll be doing navigating the love vibration. And if you have any questions in the video, leave them in the chat, and we will look at any questions at the end.
Hi vibes. I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. Is it War or Hor or 44?
Hey,
From Germany. Hi vibes.
hi vibes. Let me get this down a little bit so you got your face in here.
Alright. Is it good? Oh, there it is.
And I sit back.
Yeah, there we go.
Good.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, so let's get right into it.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Astro Solsin. Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I wanted to go ahead and share some information on finding the love in this world. You know, there is a lot of negativity that goes on, but there is a lot of love too. You just have to look for it in the right places. That's the thing, is that not everybody in this world that you give your focus and love to and your energy to is going to give their love back to you. And a lot of you have probably experienced this in your life where you know, you gave somebody your heart, you gave somebody some of your spiritual energy, and you made that connection and bond with them. However, they weren't, you know, giving anything back. You know, this happens a lot in relationships as well, where one person is giving a whole bunch of their energy, a whole bunch of their love, and the other person, you know, they're not countering that energy back and giving it back. So you have to learn how to find love in the right places. You see, if you go looking for love, for example, going back to relationship, if you go looking for love inside of, you know, the club while everybody's drinking and everybody's, you know, all caught up in this sexual energy, people have different spirits within them and all this type of stuff, it's likely that you're not going to find love there. You know what I mean? You may get lucky because there may be two people there that are both resonating on a certain level. They might have been brought there because they were hanging out with their friends or something like that, and they just happen to meet there. But a lot of times, you know, those situations don't end up well. But, you know, I don't like to say it can never happen because, you know, every time I notice when I say never about something, then it actually ends up happening. Like I would say, oh man, I never get sick. Because once I started to really focus in on my spiritual chi energy and getting things into balance, I wasn't getting sick at all. And then I was like, man, I never get sick. And then like a day or two later, I got sick, you know, and it wasn't like I got, you know, the flu or anything. It was just like a quick cold. It did go by quicker. Like I only had the cold for like one night, you know, but you just don't ever want to say never, you know, never say never, right? But yeah, so you have to look for love in the right places. So you have to find the right people or even the right environments where love is more abundant. Because
I wanted to go into that because that goes pretty deep, like finding the right people. Basically, you won't find, like, you will be able to observe love outside of yourself, but you won't find the love that you're able to activate within those people, but they will be able to help you like harness that love within yourself by like being that love and like rippling out that love, and then from there you can make the choice to also be the love. So it's like, yeah, that's, I don't know, did you want to add to that?
No, I think that, yeah.
I said, you could go to the club and there's not a whole bunch of love in there. It's a lot of lust. It's a lot of jealousy. It's a lot of envy and all that type of stuff that surrounds in those types of areas. Like, those type of places are like a portal of negative energy. Once you enter in, if you're aware, your spiritual eyes open, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff there that you're going to be like, man, there's really some demons in here. Even if your spiritual eye isn't open and you're just aware a little bit, you can still tell there's a lot of negativity there. And I talked about this in the past where, you know, the club is actually set up to get your energy, and it's set up for these energy vampires and stuff to come in and actually drain your energy. This is even why they have the bars in the club, so that you're drinking the spirits to the point where eventually you black out and something else is controlling your vessel now. And then you wake up in the morning, find out you got some girl pregnant or something, or you find out that you got raped, or you find out you got into a fight, or you wake up in jail. You know, this type of stuff is real. It really happens. So you got to find even an environment where the love is abundant. Like even getting out into nature, like even if you're by yourself, getting out into nature is abundant in loving energy. Um, this all of the energy that it brings in, all of the peacefulness and everything can instill that love vibration inside of you. But you have to be able to maintain that loving energy once you leave nature. See, this is what happens with a lot of people too. They might take some time to go out in nature and charge their spiritual chi energy up, get a peace of mind, clear out some of the programming or some of the problems that they've been dealing with, some of the stress that they have. But as soon as they enter back into that negative environment, that evil environment, because the opposite of love is evil, L-O-V-E-E-V-O-L, evil. The opposite of love is evil. So when you get out of nature and you get into one of these evil environments, now that energy can be, pretty much inside of your vessel now. And then you'll start changing into one of them. So you have to get into loving environments. You have to put yourself in situations where it's going to help assist you getting into your higher vibrations. Because if you're in an area hanging around people that are low vibrating beings,
I want to go deeper into this one because if you notice, Astro, when he delivers a message, there will be codes in between the line. And if you see what he's talking about, how like, okay, you can go out into these loving areas, right? But then the challenge is when you go back into the negative or the evil environment that he was talking about. And the code in between the lines is like, okay, if the love is not coming from the loving environment or the negative environment, then where is the love coming from? Of course, the love will allow, like, the love that you observe outside yourself, or that, say you go out into nature and you're able to tap into that loving frequency more. Of course, like, things on the outside can help you tap into that, but it still all leads back within yourself. You have to find that love within yourself, and that's one of the codes that is in between the lines.
Yeah, you have to go out and find it within yourself and then learn to maintain it even when it's not so apparent around you.
Yeah, for sure.
They're all living in the underworld and stuff. That energy can influence you. I remember when I was a kid, I had started off, I went to private school for like the first 4 years of, my schooling and stuff as a child. And then I ended up moving and going to a public school. And not to say there wasn't any negative energy at the private school, but there was less of it. There was a lot more positive energy there. But then I ended up going to this public school, and the area I was in wasn't the best area, and there was a lot more negativity, and it influenced me. It ended up having me doing a bunch of stuff I wasn't doing before. I was stealing stuff from my classmates because that's what they were doing there. I was getting into fights and everything because that energy, that environment was influencing me. And at the time, I didn't know how to block it out. You see, because they already, by the age of 7, because I was past 7 when I ended up moving and everything. By the age of 7, a lot of the programs and things that society and civilization has set up for you, a lot of the indoctrination, by the age of 7, you already start to forget a lot of your spiritual stuff that went on in the past. If you have reincarnated here, you start forgetting your past lives. You stop remembering your dreams. Your imagination starts turning down. Your creativity starts turning down. Some people are able to maintain a higher level of that, but still they lose a lot of it throughout the process of living in, this world. So I lost a lot of that. And then I went to this negative environment, and, it sucked me in. And I realized later on that was part of the journey. It was part of what I had to go through, so that when I'm able to share the information now with others, I've experienced all that underworld stuff and negativity. I've been around, the different energy vampires. I've been around the psychic rebels and all that type of stuff. So you got to find the right environments too. You got to put yourself in a situation where there's more loving people around you. There's more loving energy. There's more vibrant colors. There's more, of that spiritual presence.
I guess maybe we could probably talk about like our own experience so that they know, like, we've actually also experienced this. Like in my past, in high school, I dealt with like a lot of that, like the negative people, being around negative people, the so-called popular kids or whatever, the people that nobody really liked because they weren't nice. And, being around that group, being around that crowd and observing them, and also feeding into that energy and observing myself, like I could see how just being around people who are negative or who aren't the nicest people or who may be going behind your back and doing things that, you know, a good friend or a good family member wouldn't do, you know, you can start to become this, because then you're like, oh, this is being done to myself, so I'm just gonna keep doing that to other people, and then it's like a negative ripple effect where now the negativity is being rippled out. And that's something that I experienced within high school and a little bit of after high school, and then now being in RTM and being involved in Vibration and being around people who encourage you to grow and encourage you to be open about your growth and be open about what you're going through. You can see how you are now, or at least I can see how now that I'm a better person because of it, because I chose to surround myself and be around people who actually want me to grow into a higher version of myself. So that's a little bit about what I've went through in my past.
Yeah, and similar to Astro, I was in a private school for a while and then went to public school, and definitely observed the change of more positive energy into much less positive energy, and saw it as and felt the effects of it on myself, in terms of being bullied and, you know, being the like new kid and moving around a lot and always being like, okay, well, each year like I'm in a different school or whatever, so it's always like, well, everyone sees me as like, you know, this is the new person, we're just gonna like need someone to pick on. Like that was the kind of energy that was going on around there. And yeah, like I dealt with that for a lot, and then I kind of shut myself away from being around people, and I, you know, I closed off to like my own kind of like smaller social circle and spent a lot of time online, with probably a lot of other people who had experienced similar things, you know, going to the internet to find people who, you know, like-minded individuals. And, you know, that's part of the kind of amazing thing of the techno grids and the internet, is that we're able to connect with people all around the world, who are like-minded and are looking for that true connection. And so it's really amazing to have been introduced and, you know, connected with Vibration and Reprogram the Matrix. And if anyone out there is feeling like they've experienced something similar, I, you know, highly suggest, you know, checking out reprogramthematrix.com and the community there, because for me, like that, joining that community has been a major step in my path to reconnecting with the love vibration inside of me, and being able to, you know, truly like start, yeah, connecting back to myself and growing in a way that I wasn't for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, this is even why I started the reprogramthematrix.com website, and I'll have a link in the description to anybody that's interested, so that all of us like-minded beings out here that really want to take things to the next level, that really want to be spiritual and turn all the way up to the top, I created that so we could come together and we can connect, that we can actually remember, you know, what went on in the past, what we're supposed to be doing now, and where we're headed. Because if you don't know where you're headed, then you're lost. And a lot of people, they're just, you know, navigating around this place with a broken navigation system. Imagine you're driving your car and you got a navigation system on and it's all, you know, broken and outdated. You're never gonna find, you know, the route to where you're trying to go. You see, your navigation system has to be on point, the connection. And I'm talking about your spiritual navigation system. Your S&S game has to be tight. Once you get on your spiritual navigation system and everything's working correctly, you know, it's not outdated anymore, everything's upgraded, you can navigate this matrix clearly. But most people are just navigating blindly. You know, it's like driving a car but being blind. You're gonna get into a bunch of crashes. You're probably gonna hurt yourself. You might even kill yourself. You get what I'm saying? So get into those loving environments and get into places where the love energy is more abundant. It doesn't mean you can't recognize the negativity, because that's part of it too. You have to be able to recognize the whole reality for what it is. You don't want to say this doesn't exist and exit out. You don't want to say this doesn't exist and exit out. You want to say all of this exists, but where I lie in this existence is in the perception of, progress, in the perception of positivity, in the perception of love, in the perception of abundance, in the perception of manifestation. So once you're able to do that, things in your life are going to start moving forward a lot better. You're going to stop tripping off of all this stupid crap everybody else trips off of, and spirit will direct you and guide you in the right way, because that's our true navigation system. You get what I'm saying? And we've been cut off and severed from that connection. So now people are pretty much walking around this place dead, So I just wanted to make this quick video just explaining that. Get yourself into, a place where the people are positive, where the people are like-minded and really want to turn up. Because otherwise, you become like the environment and the people you surround yourself with, especially if you don't know how to shield yourself. I know a lot of people that in the past, they didn't want to do certain things. Like, for example, maybe they never drunk before. They never drank alcohol and never got drunk. But then the people they hung around with peer pressured them. And peer pressure is an actual pressure of energy. This is why you could say, oh, no, I don't want to drink. I'm not into that. And it'll be like, come on. And they're putting all this energy on you. And you start to feel that pressure from your peers. And a lot of people, because they're not shielded, that pressure breaks into their aura field. And eventually it programs their subconscious mind through the subnet and allows them now to pretty much accept all these things that, these peers are pressuring onto them. And then what ends up happening sometimes is that person that got peer pressured into drinking will now become an alcoholic, and they'll be drinking all the time and all this stuff. And then the other person might end up quitting, and then they'll be like, come on, man, you gotta quit, when they were the ones that got you into it in the first place. You see, so it's very important who you stay around. It's just like if you want to become, rich in this world, right? What is the best thing to do to become rich? And I'm talking about rich in the money representation, because you can be spiritually rich, and the money will come to you when you're spiritually rich, everything you need. But if you were trying to make a whole bunch of money, what would be the good thing to do? To get in an environment where money isn't abundant. Get into an environment where people are thinking about money, where people are bouncing ideas of how to make more money off of each other. You see, if you want to get higher in your spiritual, consciousness, if you want to take things to the next level, you got to get around people that are taking things to the next level. All right, so that's pretty much it. Check out the website, reprogramthematrix.com, if you're interested in joining a community with people that are turning up. And I'm out.
Yeah, so I think he kind of went over the same thing that we were going over, is that really it's about surrounding yourself with that kind of people who have found that love vibration inside themselves, or nature where love vibration is kind of just abundant. Mm-hmm. and then using that to tune yourself up. Mm-hmm. and then being able to learn and about yourself and about the world around you in a new way, from that kind of tuned up car.
Yeah. And then it just all goes back within, because it's just really a reflection of, okay, if this person can do it, obviously I can do it. That's how love is. Everybody can experience a love. Everybody has the ability to experience a love. And once you get in those environments, and you see love firsthand, then you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. And sometimes people can pass that love on to you, where you hold on to that energy for a little bit. But like Astro was saying, it's about learning how to shield and protect that love, because people will try to take that away from you, because that's how this matrix system has been programmed to react to love, true love, unconditional love. Because once you get into that vibration, then you start breaking away from the system that they've created. And once the system that they've created starts to break down, then things can happen. But that topic is for reprogramthematrix.com. that goes a little deep. And yeah, if you feel like you want to go deeper into the information, obviously we'll leave the full video in the description, but reprogramthematrix.com as well as the workshops that Astro has recently released and previously released are really good tools for you to truly turn up on your spiritual path. Because I remember he said once in one of his videos, he just leaves the cookie crumbs on YouTube and the website is where the cookies are at. So just keep that in mind. And if you truly feel like connecting, we're always here. Adam@vibranation.com, solar@vibranation.com is our emails. And then I'll leave the links in the description for like the social media for you guys to reach out and we can check out this stuff. Warrior. If you if you have any like social media or anything that you want to like reach out and connect, we would definitely like leave that in the chat and we'll definitely be sure to reach out. And then Brett said full love. High vibes. Warrior said, at school I couldn't really focus. I was class clown and vibing the classroom up. Haha. Yeah, school kind of tends to be that kind of negative environment in its own right, because they're strictly teaching you how to, and we talked about this last night, they're strictly teaching you how to follow orders. You know, you have to ask to go to the bathroom. Like, what is that? You have to ask to go to the bathroom. That's kind of crazy in itself. And they like kind of train you to basically be, you know, a worker ant. Like they don't want you to unlock, you know, your own creativity. They don't want you to unlock that. That's why it's like so like, okay, this is how long this class is. This is exactly what you're gonna learn. This is what's gonna be learned statewide. They want everybody on that like wave. And you know, that's, you know, we all need to be learning different things too, because if everybody learned the same thing, like what would that even do? Like, you know, obviously that's kind of going to the extreme. People do know different things, but in like in the way that we're kind of like taught to experience life, I'm talking about, where it's like you're taught not to question anything, you're taught to just go with the order, you're taught to just, you know, not question anything. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. But
yeah, and that kind of like connects back to the love vibration in terms of like finding what you enjoy doing that allows that love vibration to come out of you, instead of, you know, being limited to like the options that you get taught in school. Like, well, you know, you gotta spend all your time doing this job or this career, and they want you to like know right away like what you want to do, and you know, expect you to go down this path of like basically just getting in another program of like, well, I'm gonna be spending the next 4 years learning this thing, or
8 years sometimes,
8 years or 12 or like, yeah. So, you know, really being open to in the present moment, always looking for, you know, that love vibration inside of you, and then, you know, just letting it come out.
Yep. And that's something that I've observed too. Like, I used to work at a warehouse, and one of the guys was saying that his brother-in-law was a lawyer, and you know, he maybe have been like so book smart, but he said when it came to anything about life, like living life, or you know, if things went to like hit the fan, if everything hit the fan, is that the phrase?
Yeah, that shit hits the fan.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If everything hit the fan, then you know, he wouldn't know what to do, because his whole life was just spent in a book. And you kind of have to learn how to essentially write your own book. I don't want to say that, but basically that's what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah. High vibes.
High vibes.
And yeah, join us for the next one. We'll be doing another one of these this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And
wait, Wednesday too?
Oh yes. This is the weekend.
Yes.
So yes, we will be doing one on Wednesday. So yeah, high vibes.
Vibes. Peace in and out.
Peace in and out.